Welcome back to the Artefactors Union. I am your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, and today we have a special box. The Kastore Core Box. Weird was kind enough to send me this box early so that I get it assembled for the actual publication date, so we will get on this as quickly as possible so I can get it out on time for once. This box contains 6 models. The first one being Kastore himself, big Neverborn daddy. Here's the artwork. Next is his totem Marathine. This artwork here, which is just the sword. The sword is the only thing that matters. Don't worry about the victims, I guess. Next is the henchman, Gwyll, or according to the Welsh pronunciation on Google, Gwyll. I'm only going to call him Gwyll from now on. I'm comfortable doing German pronunciations, but not Welsh. No, sorry. And last, the minions in the box, the blood vessels. Here's one of the lovely boys there. Let's take a look at the renders. Kastore is really big. Marathine is going to be very complicated with all those little victim bits. Gwyll is just made of tree, I guess. Well, he has a dryad, so there's that. And the blood vessels. I have been told that at least one of these guys is extremely sharp, and try not to cut myself on him, so we'll give that a shot. Alright. Our box comes in 2 separated sprues. What we're looking at here is Kastore on this side, and Marathine on this side, and the other half is the rest of the 4 models, so we're only concerned with Kastore right here. I'm going to go ahead and grab his legs, shove both sides of his tabard, or clothing or whatever on it, then jam the torso on top, add the wings, and then do both arms. Should be simple. Oh, our bit lettering is I1 through I7. This is I2, what we're starting with. Next we'll be adding I5, which will just sort of wrap around his backside and cover up his booty. There we go. Next will be I4, which will be the front part of the clothing. You can see all the points where it connects to I5, as well as just covering up the legs. Congratulations, his naughty bits have been fully encased. Next will be I1, his torso, which is going to just jam it up there. Here we are with I1 attached. His torso. The connection point might be a little fiddly for some people. What I've figured out is that once you jam it on there, you twist it clockwise just ever so slightly, and that'll make sure it's in the good position. Then obviously double check your seam and make sure it looks okay. I3 is our wings that are just going to go and cover up this big hole on his back. And there we go. Pretty easy connection. We'll do I7, his right arm, and then finish off with I6, the left arm. I7, right arm, another smooth connection, no issues. And I6, the left arm, only marginally more difficult than the right, which is to say very, very easy to go in. There we are with Kastore Awakened. The only difficult part, not even difficult, I always gotta say what the hardest part is. I would say the hardest part is getting his torso to affix to his legs, which is really it. It was still simple to do that, so you shouldn't have any issues putting them together. Let's move on to Marathine. Here's another look at the Marathine sprue. We're going to grab the base, add the magical effect to it, and then figure out what to do with these bodies. I'm assuming I should be able to just glue the bodies on and then add the extra bits to them as I figure out what bits go where. But if I need to assemble the body first, I'll let you know. And then lastly, finish it off with the actual totem, the sword. Haha, I'm already wrong. Ignore the obvious glue here. I pulled it apart because I realized it'd probably be easier if we added the body that goes in here first, but before we put the main magical part onto this. So we're looking at E2 and E3. Here is our 2 bits on the top left and the middle. We'll combine those together and then we'll add it to E9. Here we have E3. We're going to add E2 to the back. Pretty obvious connection there. There we are. Now, how he's connected is obviously his torso and the 2 wrists are jammed into the magical effect. Actually, only the nub of his right arm is going to have a connection point on the bit. The left one doesn't seem to have a hole for it. Looking at E9 again, the torso is going to jam right here. the nub of the right arm in this hole, and the left one will just sort of sit in this groove. There it is, combined from that initial angle, and here it is, sort of on a flat looking at it angle. Right, back to what I thought was the first step. This is E10, and our connection points are right here. You can see where I had initially glued it before. And that will glue here, and most of the effect will be going up. Okay, yeah, no, doing the victim first before adding this on was the right call, because it would be difficult to wedge them in there otherwise. Alright, let's move on to this second victim, or like second victim. This time we are looking at E6. This one has clipped wings instead of regular wings, so the things that are jamming into his back is E7. Glue those together first. E6 and E7. Torso will glue in there, and the nub of the right arm will sit there. There he goes. Doesn't he look happy? Our last victim has 4 bits to him, and thanks to Marathine, he is kind of chopped up a little bit, so actually we are going to jam the torso in there after we've put his arm and wing on, and then on the other side, you can kind of see where the extra arm goes, and this little sliver here will hold the one wing we have as a bit. Yeah, okay, so we're going to grab E5, jam E4 onto that, glue that onto the whole model, and then on the other side we'll glue E1 into the magical effect as well as E8 into the magical effect. E5, add E4, jam them into the magical effect right there, flip it over and reminding you that E1 will go in there and E8 will go in this little sliver. There's E1, it is sticking straight out from the magical effect, almost perpendicular. And E8, the wing right here. Mine just sort of popped into place. I'm not sure if you'll be as lucky, so do a good amount of dry fitting and you should be able to get the angle set right. There are 4 connection points for the sword. One is this magical effect on the back of the blade, then this divot here, here, and here. They correspond to here on the effect, then here, here, and here. Voila. There we go, Marathine is done. Very excessive for just a sword. Thank you, Weird, for this ludicrous sculpt. I mean, it's better than a sword just sticking on a base, which you could definitely do, just glue the sword to the base if you don't put this together, but it's so pretty. And all the victims. Think about the poor victims. Very dramatic victims. Anyways, moving on to Gwyll. Alright, I think we're done with the hard part. Moving on to the other 4 models in the box, starting with Gwyll, again, the henchman, a dryad, a wooden mushroomy boy. We're just going to go ahead and slap D1 and D2 together, and then put the face on, put the arms on, and finish off with this mushroom cap and wood bit on the back. D1 is our back side of Gwyll, D2 will be the front side, just glue it onto this. Here they are combined. Next will be the face, which is D4, and it'll go in this very obvious hole right there. There, Gwyll now has a face. Next is going to be D3, the right arm and walking stick, and we'll glue in right there. And I can zoom in, I keep forgetting about that. There is the right arm and the walking stick. They should fit flat on the ground along with the feet. Next, second to last, will be D6, which is the left arm, and it'll connect in there as well as up to the hand on the walking stick. It's not easy to see, but there is actually just the smallest connection point right here, sort of on the wrist of the left hand, that connects to the face. So glue that down. We'll ensure that the angle on the stick is good. For D6, the left arm, you want the elbow to be jutting up just a little bit. If it's pointed straight down, then the wrist won't connect correctly. So it's the angle you're looking for. Flip Gwyll. Now I want you to add D5 here and here, with the mushroom being here and the stump up there. There we go, all done with Gwyll. Hardest part was probably the left arm? Yeah, the left arm, just getting it situated in there. Not a ton of pieces to really mess up, though. He, does he look like a weird, gross chicken nugget to anyone? Just me? Oh, I bet he's like a morel yeah, it kind of looks like a morel mushroom. Anyways, moving on to the blood vessels. We got blood vessel A, B, and C, or 1, 2, and 3, which I usually the numbering scheme I use. We'll start with A, or 1. We're going to grab the body, put the other half of the body on there, and then add this part of the skirt slash leg, do the other leg, then both the arms, and lastly, the clipped wings. Now let's start with A1 and add A7 onto the back of it. They are connected, pretty simple. You can see this sort of groove in the back, and that's exactly where we're going to put A3. So on A3, the part that connects to that groove on the back is right here, and this will become the left leg. And it's attached from the back, view from the front. Next up is A2, and that is going to go right there. Now this is going to take a little bit closer of an examination. You can kind of see the area where the leg is supposed to glue into, but the kind of important part is there's sort of a ridge right here, and that will connect with this groove right here on the leg. Just let me show you. Right here it is attached. You can kind of see the ridge I was talking about and how it and the leg connects to it. It'll make a lot more sense when you have them all in front of you. It's kind of hard to show with the camera I have. Alright, A3 is the left arm and A4 is the right arm. Okay, here's A3 attached. There's no tooth and groove to give you a good idea of what the angle is supposed to be on it. Just wiggle it around until it feels right to you. Here's A4, the right arm. This one actually has a tooth and groove, so pretty easy to figure that out where it goes. And A6, the clipped wings go in that groove on the shoulders. There we are, all done. That'll wrap up blood vessel number 1. The hardest part was, yeah, the right leg. You could probably put that in before you do the bit on the back with the left leg. That might make it slightly easier for you, but not all that difficult of a build. Alright, names. We're gonna call this guy Thrombo. We're up to blood vessel B, or blood vessel 2. Only 5 parts? Goodness, it should be easy. Okay, we'll grab the body, then do the cloak, and I think... Nope, the head's after that. Then the left arm, the right arm, and then the head. Yeah. Let's start with B2, the body. This is the back view. The cape, which is B1, will obviously be covering that big gap in the back. Here it is attached, but you can't really see much because now it's covering up most of the back. Okay, here's the front view. It gives you a better idea. The cape's kind of askew. It's more shaded towards the right side of his body than the left. We'll go ahead and do the right arm next, which is B4. It will go ahead and glue into this groove right here, but also the hand will be resting on his knee. You can kind of see the hand imprint there. That fits so nicely. Alright, B5, the left arm and the staff. B5 also has a very good connection. Just make sure that you can sit him down and the staff will be resting on the base, as well as just look at your seams. Next in, the last piece, B3, the head. There it is. The neck took some fiddling. I had to kind of push it down. It does sink a little bit into that hole there, but that's the angle you're looking for. Camera foot focus. There we go. I finished blood vessel 2. We're going to call this one Luco. Hardest part was probably the head, yeah. Just getting the head to squish in there correctly was just a little bit more difficult than any of the other bits, but nothing too hard. I just like saying that so much, nothing too hard. But a lot of these are easy, I just kind of got into the rhythm of telling you the hardest part. Moving on to the last model in the box. Blood Vessel C, or Blood Vessel 3, the last one. We are going to go ahead and grab the body, then add the leg, add the right arm, I think that's the right arm, then the left arm, and then the head. C3 is our body, and we will put C5, the leg, in this big old hole right here. There it is. Should completely fill up that hole. It's pretty obvious how it's supposed to fit. Next will be C4, the right arm. You can see the big old space where it's supposed to connect. Oh, that's the head. Okay. C2 is going to go right in there. We'll add that onto this bit before we attach it to the body. This is C2 and C4 combined. Now you can jam that on the body. There we are, happy little demon lady. Alright, you can see the hole where C1, the left arm, will go. The spear will be kind of at like a 45 degree angle, so not sticking straight up and not perpendicular to the ground. Also, watch your fingers, because I've been told that that spear can draw blood, which is thematic, to be fair. Oh, and this is why you dry fit. The spear goes right here in this groove. Yeah, that's solid. I like that. That is freaking sharp. Look at that thing. Wait, hold on. Oh, hit the camera. Ah! Blood Vessel C is done. I'm going to call her Erythro. The hardest part on this model was realizing that you'd need to put the face on the hair before you attach that to the body. Other than that, pretty simple. Again, watch that really stabby spear. Onto the whole box. Here they are, the Kastore Core Box. You've got Kastore, Reborn, Marathine, Marathine, I don't know, Gwyll, and the 3 blood vessels. All the difficulty in this box is just Marathine. Once you get her done, it done. The sword done. The rest of the box should go together pretty easily. But it's gorgeous. It'll be exciting to paint. But enjoy your models. Enjoy your Malifaux. I really need some kind of closer.